Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Blog. We are Saturday, April 16th, 2016. Hey! I don't know why I'm doing that. So, this video blog is recorded later than yesterday's by about half an hour. Then again, I might actually go to bed earlier than yesterday, because yesterday, despite filming that thing at 6:30, I went to bed around 11 a.m. You know, it's at moments like that where I really hate myself. What is there to say really about today? Turns out that in football, the most interesting thing, well, at least in France, is not the fight to the top, because that's already over. Paris has won and all that stuff. But the race to, well, not stay in the bottom. And boy howdy, did it take a turn today. Toulouse, who were around maybe 8 points out, 8 points below the first to be in a position where at the end of the season you're not relegated, now is only one win away, and it might happen because despite the fact that they only made it to a draw yesterday, god damn it, they're really going fast. They have like 11 points in 6 matches. Ajaccio had a real good shot at saving themselves, and it's all thanks to Reims being pretty much fucked. They lost against Troyes, and to be honest though, it was Troyes' first home win of the whole season. Like, they were in a worse position than Marseille, and that's tough to say. It's really getting heated at the bottom, and the fact that Marseille plays tonight, I have to say tonight, against Monaco to save themselves. They are in a bad position as it is, because I'm fairly sure that they cannot win against Monaco. But maybe, the fact that there might be another owner, of the club come this summer, and with that, another coach that might actually be able to use them at their full potential, maybe is going to motivate them to do better stuff, because obviously a coach is not going to keep people who have been pulling the club down to the second division. But what do I know? Maybe the new investor won't pull out the money for a new coach. So but yeah. So man, I guess that doing an omelette with 7 eggs wasn't the best solution, but it's kind of, I won't say that I have OCD or something like that, but it really pissed me off that I would let 3 eggs on top of the put eggs. They were on a shelf on the fridge, and it was 2 rows, and suddenly they awkwardly put above some eggs, and I was like, I guess I will use them. And for sure it made for something very nutritive, because at most I have 2 meals in a day because of the fact that I have a fucked up sleep schedule. But it was really, really, really nutritive. Like, the fact that I'm not hungry right now, after having eaten that around 1 a.m. Is like, I felt really heavy, and that's not a joke about me being fat. That's really the fact that but yeah, Also, I've spent the whole night reading articles about Iceland because I really wanted to know whether the polling ball, the country ball for Iceland in the power rankings for the Civilization 5 Battle Royale was accurate, you know, with the beard and the loof. But yeah, so I didn't find anything that was going towards Arnor I don't even remember his name correctly. So yeah, the ruler of Iceland in the game. I don't know if that's accurate, but suddenly I know a lot more. Like I went back to read some things that I actually know about Iceland. You know, like the island of Surtsey, which is not pronounced Surtsey, it's Surtsey. But Surtsey rolls off the tongue in English because that's how it's written. Which was born in the 60s after a 4-year-long eruption, and two underwater mountains. I mean, two are underwater because of the erosion. One is underwater because of it never reached the surface. And the Old Thing and Thingvellir, which are respectively the parliament and the place where the parliament used to have their sessions, which is something really weird because it's like in the middle of a plain that's really out there, and you think, yeah, okay, the chiefs in the north only had to go for 17 days at most because of the glaciers and the rivers and all that stuff. But still, it's 17 days and you're not close. I mean, you're not really that close to Reykjavik. But, I mean, some people made a survey about that. So I guess that it was the best place for everyone. I mean, obviously, if it had been in Reykjavik, the chiefs that weren't in Reykjavik, especially the ones who were at the furthest points, would have been hella pissed. Like, hey, you're making it so that only the people from Reykjavik can go to the parliament. And the guys from Reykjavik are like, no, if you live in Selfoss, you can still come. If you're in the Westman Islands, this is a way too complicated word to say at this point. You know, the Westman Islands are actually called the Vestman Ayar. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, they're called the Westman Islands because of the fact that when the Vikings reached Iceland, before that, the westernmost point they knew was Ireland. So the people from Ireland were called the Westmen, and they brought some. And the guy who, like the genesis of the Viking history of Iceland is really something. Like, a dude once went to Iceland and was like, huh, that's nice. Well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna make a U-turn to Norway. And at one more point he was like, hey, you wanna come to Iceland? His friend was like, yeah, you mind if we really move to Iceland? And the other was like, that's a fucking good idea. And they went with their homes and all that. The main dude took his chair, removed 2 posts and threw them in the water and said, wherever that lands, that's where we will build our city. And for 3 years they had slaves to look for those posts. And where did those posts and it was where there's Reykjavik today. Fun fact. So the Westman Islands are there because there was a couple of slaves killed the other dude, and they were Irish. So like the main guy looked for them everywhere and found them on the Westman Islands archipelago, and he killed them there, except for one who killed himself. And the dude was like, "Huh, that's pretty brave," and he called the hill after that dude. Um, and that's pretty much the whole thing I know about the Westman Islands. Like the main island, which is its Icelandic name is the Icelandic for home island, which is pretty much main island, much like in Shetland in Orkney, the islands, and also the Hebrides, some of the islands around Scotland. The Vikings were like, well, that's the biggest island. We're gonna call it main island or home island, and that stayed. So on that island, on that home island, in 1973, there was a new volcano called the. In English, it's the Fire Mountain, which is pretty much the name for a volcano. If you look in Japanese, the way it's said, it's literally Fire Mountain. Like, wow, can you be a little bit less descriptive? Like, find a name maybe a little more imaginative. Like Surtsey, which is Surt's mountain, island, So it's being a Jotun of the fire in Viking mythology. So this island had the volcano, and they were like, well, we're fucked, because if that reaches the harbor, we might as well need to move, because that's the only thing we can live off, fishing. So they were like, well, we're gonna put water on it, and it worked. It worked so well that actually the harbor now is better protected against the influences of the high seas. So that's a win-win. That's a win-win situation. Like, well, the harbor isn't fucked, but we might as well have some more money because of this, and our boats might not sink in case of a storm. Why do I talk about Iceland? Oh yeah, because I spent half of the night reading about Iceland. It's a very, very interesting topic. I definitely would have done it if my phone hadn't been out of battery, though. So I guess if my phone is out of battery at a later point, I might know about more countries, and it makes for more content. I still haven't the whole pronunciation of Icelandic really engraved in my head. Like, I know that Iceland in Icelandic is Istland, but I'm fairly sure that it's not pronounced like this at all. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. And I really hope I'm going to bed really soon.